You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch?
Orderly Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey,
Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch? Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch?
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mr. Booth. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch!
Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
On tonight's episode of Hey Mitch, we have the team behind a Kickstarter project called Legendary Forces, which I found while surfing through Kickstarter. It sounds amazing, but I will let them explain to you what it is about. If I can get everybody to introduce themselves, that'd be great.
I'll start off. My name is Jocko Nicholson. I am the CEO, executive producer of JSN Digital Productions. I founded the company.
And my name is Leo Barron. I am a executive director and director for projects. And I came on board about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
And my name is Benjamin Jones. I'm just in the production, and I guess I'm a PA now.
I am Ashley Morgan Hutchison. I was with Ja since the very beginning. I am directing Legendary Forces, and I'm acting in it as well. I also help write and kind of help develop, do a lot of character development, do a lot of design work, things like that.
My name is Will Hutchison. I am the assistant director, and I will also have a part in the play. And I've been movie. Sorry, I'm used to theater.
We're theater people over here.
Yeah.
But I have also helped Ja write a few things.
Yeah. Basically, you're looking at all of us are behind the scenes and in front of the camera because we're all starring in Legendary Forces as well.
Right. I mean, that's the way that you have to do it, right? You have to be gridiron in front and behind the camera. So that's amazing. I am so glad to have all of you on to talk about this project. I just want to read the tagline that really caught my eye. Was an action-packed feature film that includes 6 college students inhabiting abilities and going on an adventure to save everyone. So for your first production out of the gate, why such a big swing?
Honestly, I have been working on this. You're familiar with the last Power Rangers movie, correct?
Sure. I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't believe I've kept up with my Power Rangers in a while. I think Turbo was the last movie I saw.
Okay. Well, my inspiration came from there. I've been working on this project writing it since 2017. That's when I first started. Honestly, Legendary Forces wasn't supposed to be the first ideal project, but by default, it became the first project. And the reason why I didn't have a problem pushing it is because I have total faith in the work and my team that we can deliver a great project like this. And trust me, everyone on aboard is like so excited and thrilled to be a part of this. Like every call we are on, it's nothing but excitement when we do our rehearsals.
That's amazing. Ashley, what can you tell me more about this story and what is Legendary Forces?
So Legendary Forces is the story of 6 college students who are pretty much at a frat party. They're all just kind of hanging out. Some of them have known each other prior to college. There's a couple that have been together since high school. And then the rest of them kind of met in college. They're all at different points in college, but they've all met different classes, things like that. And they kind of stumble upon these like ancient ruins pretty much. And they when they first find them, they're all drunk. So they're like, what the heck is going on? Right? They're just like, what in the world is this? And they meet this man whose name is Alistair. He's played by Leo, who is from very long time ago. And the whole premise of this movie, the concept is that a long time ago, there were evil 6 guys that really had the desire to gain power. And they had abilities, and they created these stones to enhance the abilities that they had. And they used them to try to take over the world. Well, when they created their stones and their abilities, there was the opposite of those was created to fight them. The good was they were created to fight them. And so it has cycled throughout history at different points where they have come back up. And these stones, the 6 good stones, kind of find different hosts at different points in history. And so at this point, these stones have come to these 6 friends, and now it's their responsibility to take on these powers, learn how to harness them, learn how to use them correctly, and then fight these evil forces. Ben plays one of the evil forces. He plays a character named Tagorum. And the evil forces have been around as long as Alistair has. And Alistair has a twin brother whose name is Ahmed, who's also played by Leo, who pretty much kind of coaches the evil forces. They've never won, obviously. So the evil forces kind of just get their butts whooped every couple hundred years and then get sent back to to go underground and are stuck having to figure it out. But it's the story of these 6 friends kind of coming into themselves. So it's like a coming of age kind of story, but from a supernatural perspective. So there's like that double, the 2 sides to that coin, and being able to see them develop into adults, but also have these powers and how that layers on there, and how that affects the way they are.
Okay. Leo, as sounds like you're going to be playing 2 roles here.
Yes.
What is it that you had to do to get in that mindset of both sides? Or what is it you're doing to get into that mindset of both sides?
Yes, I'm still doing.
Okay.
I really need to let my bad out. Still working with developing the evil side of myself to the point to where there is a very distinct divide between the 2 brothers. The good side is not incredibly easy, but it does seem to be a little easier for me. Kind of like Alistair is kind of like all-knowing. He's here to help the 6 achieve what needs to be done. He's not overbearing. He's very even-keeled type of character. You never see him pendulum swing when it comes to emotion. He's just a rock solid type character. On the other hand,
given a lot of flack for my character. So
right.
My character gives him a whole lot of crap, and he's very he's steady. He's definitely the steady of that group. He's the glue that kind of holds them all together when they all want to fall apart.
And my evil side tends to, fly off the handle from time to time. Gets a little over anxious at times and pulls the trigger at the wrong time. And so just trying to keep them separated in my head is a definite challenge.
Okay, that's fair, and it takes quite a talent to play both sides of the coin. So more power to you, Ben. Playing a villain is it something that you've always looked forward to?
After doing the practice, I think I wouldn't have thought so, but I think it's something I have wanted to do deep down. Because man, it's a lot a fun.
He's so good at it too.
Yeah, he's maybe I had it inside me all this time. Who knows?
What is? I mean, Ashley and Will said that they had theater backgrounds. What is everybody else's production background or film background?
Me, I have done extra work. I've been in Neighbors 2 as an extra and Fist Fight. I actually started off my first acting experiences was doing dramatizations for the ID channel. So I was in 2 shows on the ID channel as well. And actually, in 2019, I was in my first independent film, feature film.
What was that?
It's called The Ominous Project 2, where I actually won Best Supporting Actor in a Film Festival, and we won Best Cast Ensemble as well.
That's incredible. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I mean, has acting always been your thing, or is all creating just been what you're about?
I'm all creating because I truth be told, it started off music being my passion, but acting worked this way up there. So like music and acting go hand in hand for me.
Very cool.
I guess I'll go next. I started my adventure as a musician way back when. I'm sure probably before most of you were born. It led to, in high school, I was in theater, technical theater. So I was the lighting guy and, stage pyro, all that type of stuff. And continued on with a music career for a while. I stayed active in music for a good 23 or 24 years before I kind of just walked away from it back in 91. I am currently a professional pyrotechnician. I am slowly getting back into music as well, but my TV and film actually started a couple years ago, and I have been very busy with that. Many pages of credits for background, stand-in work. I do a lot of stand-in work for actors. I do precision driving on sets. So yeah, my list for that over the past 2 years has become quite extensive. So
precision driving, that's something that's always fascinated me. So I'd love to talk to you more about that sometime. Ben, did you have a background in performance also?
Not really. It's always been something that's been in the back of my mind to do. And I wasn't a theater kid in high school. I never, just took the plunge. And I guess finally I just decided to do it. And I was lucky enough that these guys found me. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Anyway.
And Ashley and Will, what kind of theater productions are we talking about? Because I also come from a theater background, so to speak.
I have a classical conservatory degree from the National Conservatory of Dramatic Arts in Washington, D.C.
So very impressive.
I have I went to school thinking I was going to be an actor. Period. That's what I was going to do. I ended up in Georgia, which is how I met Ja. I met Ja and my husband on. I met Ja on the film The Ominous Project. That's how we met. And then I was the artistic director of a youth theater in a small town in Georgia for 3 years. So I have directed. My directorial debut was a steampunk and bohemian version of Shakespeare's The Tempest.
Wow.
I've directed Female Odd Couple. I've directed a junior version of Beauty and the Beast. I did a post-apocalyptic version of Orestes, which is a Greek tragedy. And then I directed and starred in a musical theater montage of like contemporary musical theater pieces, which is where I met my husband. I sing, act, kind of do all of it. I taught theater classes for little kids before COVID and everything happened. And so I've done the gamut. I've designed, I've done set design, costumes, hair, assistance directing, stage managing, directing, acting, you name it in the theater realm. Minus climbing up and hanging lights myself. I've pretty much done it all.
Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention my first date, I actually have a little theater background. I was in drama club in school. So that's where I actually first started my first theater thing, and it was Grease the musical.
Oh, which
Yes.
role were you?
Are you familiar with Teen Angel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, and I also was Johnny Casino at the prom. So yeah.
Very cool.
So I met my wife in high school. We did, like she said, the musical theater montage. I was the assistant director, co-producer for that. And then before that, I was in community theater in my small little podunk Georgia town. And then I did theater all throughout high school as it aligned with my sports schedule. So I was well versed.
If you're asking for performance credits,
Nope.
okay, so I can give you those if you want those.
I mean, if you want to give them out, that's fine. I wasn't specific in anything, any credits. I just wanted to get everybody's
I'll tell
background.
you this: my favorite show that I ever was in, I played Sally in a unofficial parody of the Peanuts crew. It's called Dog Sees God.
Okay.
Which was probably my favorite show that I've ever been in. It was definitely an interesting eruption. That's fun.
So, in writing the story of Legendary Heroes, how is it that you found yourself having to develop these characters in a way that is making them unique to themselves?
Is that me?
Whoever's writing, I believe it's both of you, right?
Is that you? Is that me? Who is that?
I'll take. We'll feed off each other.
All right, go ahead. I'm like, I can answer this, but I don't want to take your thunder.
with doing this, with coming up with these characters, it took a thought process of how I wanted each character to be. And the crazy thing is, they're not one dimensional. They are 3-dimensional characters. They're not just. You're not going to see them just as one emotion all the time. They have different sides to them. And you'll see that throughout the film. But coming up with each character, it was, I wanted to do something different, not have the same old as they put in these type of movies like Heroes, Power Rangers. They always have a certain, how can I put this? They always have a certain look to them or a certain background to their character. With these characters, it's like, they're normal, but they have their own problems. They're in sororities, they're in fraternities, they have backstories, they have life events that's happening all at one time that they don't even know about. So it's a lot that you wouldn't expect in a regular Heroes movie.
Okay.
Ashley, I'll let you continue.
And that's pretty much it. I think if you're at, when you ask us about like actually helping them develop, I will chime in at that point because that's kind of where my specialty is.
Oh, so I mean, then what was it? What was your biggest hurdle in developing these characters?
I think the challenge that we had in rehearsals so far was making sure that our Evil Six understood that they have a backstory too. Because there's a lot of circumstance given to the Good Six. In the script, the way that it's written, it's focused on them. So a lot of their backstory is a little more obvious. But if you look at like the Maleficent movies, right? For me at least, she became interesting to me when you started really digging, making her look like more than just a villain, right? So for me, as a director coming into this specific project, it was, okay, how do we make sure these actors understand that you need to be more than just a bad guy? Like we need to understand how the six of you guys operate. How does Chigorum feel about Yugata? How does Yugata feel about Grutel? How does Grutel feel about Sygos? There's all these different characters and understanding their dynamic and what what has made them work, and what their weaknesses have been over the last thousands of years. Having that and understanding, they've been with each other. They keep resurfacing the same 6 of them over and over again. The same, 5 of them, because one of them doesn't return. The six of them, they resurface, and how do their different personalities mesh? Who clashes heads with who and why? And where does that come from? And what does that look like in your dynamic? And there's some scenes where you kind of get to see that, and it makes them a little more human. And the goal was for me to make the villains as relatable as the heroes, because then it makes you go, well, I understand them a little bit, and then they become human. And when they become human, it makes the story more interesting. If that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. Yes, I mean we love our flawed heroes, and our sympathetic villains. So definitely love the picture you're painting so far. Ben, what are you drawing from when you're out there acting and portraying your character?
I think just like my baser instincts, like like just not trying to come across any sort of way. Just let the malice inside of me seep out, I guess. and a lot of it's just a lot of the geekier stuff I've seen, just trying to emulate the evil performances I've identified with and enjoyed, just stuff like that.
Very cool. Leo, what are you most excited for people to see when this comes out?
I am looking forward to, as Ashley had said, presenting very well-rounded and characters on both sides of the gamut that most people can identify with or will learn. I'm sure there'll be plenty of folks that are just going to love some of the evil characters just because of their personalities.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. If we nail this correctly, this will be just such a dynamic cast.
Okay. And Jacquel, when we get, without spoiling anything, because we want people to watch it, what's that scene that you have in your head that everybody's just going to have a jaw drop?
The end of it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
The end is the end. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna give anything away, but the ending is gonna be something that's not gonna be predicted. You're not gonna be able to predict this ending at all.
Very cool. Very cool. So I think we have to talk about it, but in this time right now, we are in the middle of COVID and pandemic and quarantine and lockdown. Like, how has that been for everybody production wise? Rehearsals or putting things together, writing, working together?
Well, rehearsals have been all Zoom oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet a couple times a week for rehearsals. We have production meetings by way of conferencing. We probably will not physically meet until just before we're getting ready to shoot. So we might be able to work out some blocking right at the end and everything before we start getting on locations. But so far, the conferencing has worked very well.
How has rehearsals over Zoom worked out? I mean, I can understand that you're doing the best you can, but I as a person who's also been on stage, I imagine it's got to be difficult. And for a person who's been on camera, it's got to be difficult.
Oh, it is difficult to a point because you don't have that physical reaction with the other cast members. You can't physically react off of someone like you can in person. But we're working on that. Go ahead, Ashley.
There's definitely good and bad to it because, so this is a film. It's not a live theater piece. So there's the benefit of it being on camera is that I can look at, say Ben's facial reactions in the scene, and I can see what it's going to look like on camera if we're close up on him because he's right there on camera. And so there's a benefit in that regard because you're able to kind of go, okay, that reads what, or if it doesn't read, what are you doing in this moment and why? Because whatever you're doing on camera is not reading, And so there's that aspect of it as well that actually is beneficial to us as a production team to be able to go, okay, that worked, that didn't. We got to fix this. We got to tweak this. We got to work on this. One of the biggest things probably that's hard, there's a few moments in the script where people talk over each other, and timing that out on Zoom is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Just 100% impossible. And the timing you would need to make it sound right on Zoom is not the same as you're going to need to sound right on camera when we're in person. So there's a lot of, hey, we're not going to focus on this right now. Put a pin in this, and we're going to deal with this when we're together. We're going to deal with it at a different time. And just as a creative team knowing, okay, that's something in our memory, in our brain that has to get dealt with before we do it for real. That's kind of but I also think mentally for everyone, a lot of us have not gotten to work much over the last year at all. And so, and those of us that have done probably a lot of background things like that. That's kicked back up. So I think for everyone, I could speak and say that it's been refreshing to be able to be on Zoom and have these rehearsals and kind of get back in the creative world and get starting to do stuff. Would you agree?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Oh yes.
The scope of the movie and world that you seem to be describing seems quite large. So I assume it's not just limited to just a one film.
You would be correct. We have a plan to potentially do a series as well as a couple of movies. We're looking at maybe spinning off and doing some character-specific series as well as continuing the saga with movies as well. Something that we're still playing with exactly what it's going to look like. Yeah, it's definitely in the works. It's been something we've talked about in production meetings after we get through this one.
Right. We got to get through the first door first. Yeah. I understand that.
One at a time.
Yes.
But the way you're speaking about it, Ashley, is there one particular character that you're loving more than others?
I think for me, as a female, being the only girl on this whole crew right now, I would love to see a spinoff of Yugata. And that's because Yugata is the leader of the evil forces. And so Ja was really, really awesome in writing this bad female character who is just like, she is a force to be reckoned with. And I would be really interesting to get like a following of her backstory of where she's come from to get to this point and kind of what's happened to create her. She would be one that I would be really curious to see what that would look like, and that's something that I'm hoping we will explore eventually.
And you want to know why I chose to make the leader of the evil forces female? Is because in most villainous type of ways, they always make the guys to be the head honcho in charge. I wanted it to be a different feel all the way around with this movie. I wanted, a female. I already knew I wanted a female villain to be the leader. And, and truth be told, with the good forces, it's definitely a different barrier that like I said, it's going to be different than any other superhero or sci-fi movie you've ever seen. It's going to give you that different feel all the way around.
Is there a character other than the one that you're portraying that you identify with the most? Besides
the one I'm playing?
Yeah.
The one I can relate to the most besides my character I'm playing, I would have to say would be Taylor.
What can you tell me about Taylor?
Taylor is Brianna's boyfriend. Taylor, he's that boyfriend that kind of can. I ain't gonna say he's a little like not annoying, but he does sweet things, but his approach is a little not right sometimes. So yeah, but he's a little softy at heart. Like he's soft-hearted. He follows everything. Like his girlfriend says, he's just like he's gonna be there for her. So, but he's just like, if she agrees on something, he's agreeing with her. He's not going against her word. So.
As I said, I found this project on Kickstarter. What can you tell me about the Kickstarter process so far?
Well, as most folks know, Kickstarter is basically a crowdfunding platform that revolves around creation, creativity, whether it be a project like ours, music, crafts, anything like that. We set up the Kickstarter to basically help defer some of our costs for like location shooting, things like that. So we set the overall dollar amount fairly low, enough to take care of what we need. But we, as with most projects, we also have there's different levels of support that you can give us. One of the first ones, if you make a pledge for a donation, there's one that if you don't want an award or reward of any kind, that is fine. Pledge what you wish, $1, $2, $20, whatever. And then we have different tiers you can do. Like one of our tiers is if you donate $20, you'll have digital access to the feature film. Comes with that platform. If you do like 25 or more, then you'll get access also on behind the scenes footage. So there's little gifts and everything that goes up with the more you donate, the more you get. Our $100 level basically gives you like a VIP access so that you get your names in the credits. You can get everything in the last two packages with this, and then you'll be able to get a first look of the finished product before it gets released in whichever format we get it released in first. And you'll be able to attend with us any film festival screenings, etc. And they just keep going up more and more and more. We've got a $300 donation level, which gives you all the previous, and then will also a special gift will be sent to you from JSN Digital Productions. The big one, if you do $500 or more at that tier, you get everything from previous packages, along with you get to join us on the set for X amount of hours during filming and see our process in person.
Does that include a walk-on roll?
We haven't discussed that yet, but
Could be.
Could be.
I mean, we can talk about it. How much you giving?
Right.
That's for our people. I mean, for real. We can give you a little spot. You can say something right quick and slide on off.
Oh, sorry, that take wasn't so good. We had to cut it. Not sure.
No.
Done. Found it.
Done. What kind of research went into those type of rewards for those different levels? Did you take a look at other Kickstarters, or did you just felt like this was right? This is what would be deserved.
Well, there are a lot of other Kickstarter projects that have kind of similar rewards to them, but we tried to personalize it as much as possible.
Very cool. Is there any one particular part of the Kickstarter process that you didn't care for yet?
I don't have anything on that one.
No?
Not really. It's been out for just a little while, and actually we're really not doing incredibly bad. We're doing pretty what I would consider average for donations at the moment. So I don't know, Ja, do you have anything?
Like I said, we've been doing kind of good right now. Right now we're sitting at $500 of the funds that we need. So, I mean, that's amazing in itself. Being the times that we're in, that someone would, and that comes with one of the rewards. Like he said, that's you get to be with us on set for X amount of time, and you get everything that's in the previous packages, along with, being with us at pretty much every film festival that we get invited to. So.
I assume you're all in Atlanta right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh yeah, not all of it.
Yeah,
Not
I'm in
all
Atlanta.
of you. Okay.
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Okay. Well, you're gonna try and get to the Dragon Con when that opens back up. Put it in the film festival there.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Okay, so this is the part where I'd love to get to know more about all of you on individual levels. But what is it that you love to geek out about? So, Jacques, let's go with you first. What's that thing? When you have free time? And we all know it's very fleeting when you're creating. When you have free time, what is it that you love to geek out about?
It's hard because crazy thing is my geek out is work. Being creative is my geek out, like music. Anything that lets me, because I also dance as well. I have just really, besides having my business, I have my own nonprofit dance fraternity that I've just gotten incorporated in Georgia, and I'm working on, once I can get these projects a little bit more smoother and on their way, I'm going to start recruiting for that. So, but that's my geek out.
I mean, that's very awesome. Nonprofit dance. That's incredible. Leo?
Well, not as much of geeking out anymore with anime like I did for the past 15 plus years, but I'm a pretty severe motorhead, a gearhead. I race. I do SCCA autocross with my big boat of a car, my Challenger, and just enjoy doing that. Enjoy being on the track. I love the speed. It's thrilling getting out there, slinging that thing around the track.
Okay, Ben.
Oh man, really like growing up, it was probably sports, and now, but more recently, it's just like any story, like stories and video games, anime, manga, movies, just all the many ways there is to tell a story these days. It fascinates me, and so like stuff right now, like I'm into Attack on Titan. That is crazy to me. That's probably my favorite day of the week when they release new episodes of that. The Marvel stuff, of course, Mandalorian, Star Wars, all the ways they're doing that these days. It's just, I just want to see how they just keep iterating on the process and how they keep telling these great stories moving forward.
And Ashley?
Musical theater.
Yeah?
Hands down.
What's that number one song or performance?
I don't know. It's a toss up. There's a few really good, more recent shows, but like song wise, it's probably the track from "Come From Away."
Okay.
It's a musical that was written about. So when 9/11 happened, all the planes that were in U.S. airspace or heading into U.S. airspace had to find a place to land. And there's a town in Canada, in Newfoundland, called Gander. And they all landed in this little teeny town, and this town took care of these people for a week. And the town went from under 10,000 to 50,000 people in a matter of 24 hours. And it's just a story of, it's all these different perspectives about what that week after 9/11 was like. And it's really simplistically set-wise done. And really, the music is really cool because it's got this flair of kind of the way it would sound from that area of the country. So it's got this kind of interesting little folky kind of style to it. It's really neat. It's a cool show, and I've enjoyed listening to that one. It drives him crazy. But it's my jam.
It drives me crazy because she listens to it nonstop.
What about you, dear?
Yep. Well, that you're next. What's your geek out?
I really geek out about writing. I've written a couple of books. They're not published. I just haven't gotten around to that, and I don't think they're ready, but no writer ever thinks their work is ready. And then I've been writing screenplays from the books as of late. And actually, Ashley and I started something a while ago that we hope to finish soon.
So when you're sitting down to write, like, do you need white noise? Do you need a completely silent room? Do you need to be out in the public? What's your process with that?
My process, I sit down on like the couch around Ashley, and we just play country music, and I write like that.
Do you feel different artists give you a different mindset?
Definitely. More the old country artists give me the, heartbreak element, and then the new fashion ones give me the good ideas for like romances and stuff like that.
What about you, Ashley? Is it the same process?
For writing?
Yes.
It depends on what I'm writing and what story I'm writing. If I'm writing something more like autobiographical or biographical, it tends to be usually country music because that's kind of what's spoken to me a lot in my life. If I'm writing about things that are not really about me, ironically, it's a lot of like Hamilton and musicals and stuff because they just kind of they keep me in like a good headspace and I can kind of just bop along and off I go. It kind of depends on what we're writing. And if we're writing like collaboratively writing and we're like on Zoom or whatever, it could even be like a binge watch show. It's something that I've watched before that I could put on in the background just so that there's something. I have ADD, and so my brain needs something to like focus what would become scatterbrain on so that I can actually get the work that I'm trying to get done.
Okay. Very, very, very cool. What, Jacquel, what about you as a performer? How is it that you come up with a new dance routine, new dance piece or a music piece that you're going to be debuting in front of other people?
My process, because I write my own music as well. So for me, the writing part comes with me just it has to be silent because I struggle from ADD. I can't deal with a lot going on around me or I won't be able to focus. And yeah, it may not be the best of work. But performing wise, with dance, I'm a freelance dancer. So I let it just come to me. Sometimes I come up with majority of my stuff I come up with is usually a freestyle that usually sticks. Some moves out of it sticks, and then I just decide what goes next from there. Because truthfully, music has been in me since I was a kid. I've been singing and dancing since I was like 4. So that right there, my mom used to tell me all the time, like once I moved to Atlanta, she was like, why don't you do something with dance? Because let's see, my dance background is pretty big. I actually, when I was in middle school, got a chance to go to a dance school that actually I would miss school for a day every Thursday for this. And I won't return to school ended. So I missed a whole day of school. But I had to audition and I actually made it in. And that's why I learned ballet, jazz, modern, contemporary. I've always had a background in hip hop. Then as I got older, I went majorette. I actually was a cheerleader in high school, step team. I actually went back and coached majorette, flag, and dance girl. Yeah. So yeah, I know how to twirl a baton, twirl a flag. I'm skilled in many areas, but And performing like with music, performing my own stuff, I'm just now getting out there doing that, and I'm getting a little bit over my nerves doing that because performing your own stuff can be hard for any like when you're first starting. So, but the more and more I do it, the more and more comfortable I'm getting with performing.
What's your favorite memory of performing?
My favorite memory for performing, I would have to say, would be my last showcase I just did in December of last year. I performed my first single off my album that's coming out this year.
Is there a place that we can hear this single and album?
Yes. My artist name is J Dynamic. I have a whole different artist name. J Dynamic. My song is on Apple Music, Tidal. It's on YouTube. I do believe I'm on Spotify as well. I actually have 2 singles that are on Apple Music, Tidal, all that's from my album. So yeah.
J Dynamic. All right.
J Dynamic, and it's spelled just the same. JAYDYNAMIC.
Ben, since this is if I understand, this was your first time performing or acting. Is this a career path that you want to try and pursue?
Yeah, for sure. I've been thinking about it for a few years, and now that I've taken the plunge, so to speak, I definitely want to continue it for sure. So yeah, we're just gonna see where it leads.
So
he ain't got no choice.
What was that?
He ain't got no choice. He part of the team now.
It's good to hear.
How did you psych yourself up for the first time you were going to get in front of the camera, or in this case, Zoom call?
Right. It's just really exciting. Like, when you do these things, like my sister's the real actress in the family, and I was, kind of just help her, and, run lines, and you get sick of doing that enough. It's like, okay, it's my turn. Time to do it in front of, people for me, not you. So really the excitement was there. Just after just doing through that process for so long.
Okay. All right. More hope, more power to you, and hope you get to do more.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Leo, what's the coolest precision driving stunt you've done? Because I need to know more about this.
Nothing really, really drastic, because they usually leave that to the stunt personnel.
Right.
Probably the most, shall we say, puckering moment I have had is probably on the track. There's a one track that I race, because I race on Formula One tracks. So, it's all the twisty turnings. I don't do straight line. I don't do ovals. I need something exciting. So there is one track that I do in North Georgia that is a very technical and slower track than most tracks. But coming out of the straightaway, doing about 137 before you go into a downhill hairpin turn, that can get a little tense. Because usually the average speed for that is 120, 125. So I was kind of pushing the envelope on that one a little bit. But, the usual, do some skid pad work, do some drifting. That's always fun. So I just get out there, burn some tires up, have some fun, keep safe. It's great. It's a thrill. It's kind of like my pyro. I like blowing things up,
It's very cool. I love that. I want to ask, since everybody here seems to be at a different level or stage of where they're at in production wise and stuff like that, what's advice you would give to someone that is starting out trying to do what it is that you're doing right now? Let's start with you, Ja.
The advice I would give them is, if you're passionate about it, this is what you really want to do, don't let nothing stop you. Like, trust and believe. You're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have people try to deter you. I mean, if this is what you want to do, keep at it. I mean, hey, I'm a product of that. You know, I've had naysayers. I've had people against me try to, ruin my business. But, you know, I'm still here. I still kept going, and look at me now. That's all I got to say.
There you go. Leo?
I would definitely stay the course. My coach and my agent has told me many times that she is just phenomenally impressed with the time I put in, the energy I put into it. I'm always busy, always going about traveling to get parts. If you really want to do it, those are some, I guess, sacrifices that you will have to do. But if you really fall in love with doing this, it won't feel like a sacrifice. But you've got to have this, you know, in your heart. You want to do it, and just go for it. I never thought I would ever be in front of a camera or out on stage again, since I was always a tech person. But it's like I'm back hanging lights again. I mean, I enjoy it. Now, granted, I have taken a couple crew jobs also along the way, just to kind of revert a little bit. But that's also been fun too, because I've never really done film crewing before until I got on a couple sets and ended up being on the lighting crew for a TV show and ended up being a production assistant in a major feature film. So just stay the course. If you get bit by it that first time, it's all good.
Okay. Ben, for the wide-eyed novice amateur, what would you say for the person right behind you?
Yeah, I would say, just, you know, step out and do it. If you've caught the bug, like, don't wait. Like, that's the advice I'd probably give myself. Like, I wish I had started doing this probably in high school, you know, so I would have gone through these paces at 18 as opposed to 28. So right now, you know, there's people, you know, younger than me, way more experienced. So just, you know, if you have the bug and it's in your heart, just go. Like, it doesn't really matter what age you are, you know, there's no time like the present, but, like, you know, you can do this and other things at the same time, even if it's just something small or just something you can do when you have time. So just step out and have faith and go for it.
Ashley?
I'm trying to think of the nice way to say this, because of all of us, I am the most blunt.
Uh-oh.
That's not true. Just you're the middle two words. That's the only reason why I'm the most blunt. I speak more. So one thing about my story is that I did theater in high school, went to college for theater, ended up dropping out of school, and took 10 years off, where I did everything but theater. I stayed the heck away and then came back and went through college, finished my degree and all that. I guess what I would say is, if it's what you love, I'll say this. What they told me the first day of acting school is, if there's anything else that you would rather do, go do it. Because this industry is not for the faint of heart. But if this is what you know, this is what you know you're the best at, then you need to fight every single day to be better than you were the day before. And I think one thing that I used to be involved with a semi-pro football team, and one thing they used to always say was, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. And I've used that mentality in my performance life, because there's always someone hungrier than you. There's always going to be somebody who's working harder, who's studying harder, who's taking more classes, who has more money to do whatever. You have to be the best of yourself, and find those people that believe in you and surround yourself with those people. Surround yourself with that one or two people that are going to speak life into you on the days when you get that no. Because they're going to happen. and they're going to happen more often than not. And if you can surround yourself with those people that on those days can go, hey, look what you have done. Hey, look what's ahead for you. Hey, look who you are. Hey, look what you're capable of. You can then have those affirmations in yourself and you can keep moving forward. If you can't find a role that you want, create it. I learned that from Viola Davis. She's been said that a few times, she always was told, if she wanted to play these different kind of roles, they didn't have them for her. And it was, well, if you can't find it, create it. And she did that. And she's done really well for herself. And that's something that I think we as a production company, Josh himself especially, has really tried to do, is give people the opportunity to play roles that they want to play, that they're capable of playing, but they may not look like they fit that role based off of physicality or whatever. I'm, a bigger actress. So a lot of times we don't get to be the center of attention. We always have to be the funny person.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting to play more serious roles or getting to play something it's a little heavy hitting is fun because that's where my heart is. I don't get to play those roles very often because of my size. So just kind of surrounding yourself with people that believe in what you have is really important. And then finding a space where you can create the roles that help you come alive. Not every role you get is going to be this thing where you get to take a piece of yourself and show the world. But every once in a while they come along. And when they do, run with it because it's going to be the most creatively fulfilling thing you do. That's what I got. There's my advice.
And Will, how do you follow that up?
Well, like Ashley said, I'm a man of few words. My advice would be that if you want it, work hard. Put in the time, put in the effort. Do the smaller things. Better yourself. And then whenever you're called to do a bigger role, you'll be ready.
There you go. Nicely put. Going to go the opposite direction this time. So, Will, you're going to start first. What if you could have a completely useless superpower would be your useless superpower? So just to give a example, the one I usually use is that I can instantly grow my hair 1 inch, but only 1 inch.
Why you got to take mine for?
I don't really have a problem growing hair, so I think I'm going to go. I think I'll go in the opposite direction. I would say that if I had to choose a useless superpower, it'd be to cause my hair to grow shorter by 1 inch.
Hey, just get a quick trim, no problem. All right, I like that. Ashley?
Since I can't use my hair one, to wake up with makeup on.
Okay. I mean, it's cutting down on time, but I get it how it's not exactly useful.
I don't wear makeup that often, but it would be nice to just kind of snap my fingers and be like, oh, it's on. I'm done. Fight with it.
Ben?
A useless superpower. Yeah, I was going to say just like stop my hair from growing, which is weird. We're all fixated on hair. But I guess if I don't have to go to the barbershop anymore, that's pretty useful. So
can be.
Yeah, shoot. That's $40 every trip. So
it freed up the time in the wallet.
Right. So that's kind of useful. So I guess I don't know. I'm weird about getting up I wish I could teleport a couple of inches, even if I could just walk them. It would probably be easier to walk them, but I would still want to do it. I don't know. That just seems really cool to me.
I love it. I love that. Yeah. All right. Leo?
I guess this could be a superpower. To wake up without the use of coffee.
Oh.
That's very useful.
That's very useful.
Unless he really loves the taste of coffee, then, you're still going to be drinking the coffee, even though it's not useful. Ja?
I guess if it's useless, it's not really a superpower. Huh? Oh, sorry.
No, what were you saying, Ben?
I guess if it's useless, it's not really a superpower, huh? It's just sort of like a mild inconvenience.
Yes, exactly. Jack, what would your useless superpower be?
And this is gonna be weird.
It's
I've
you.
never known.
Nothing left.
Okay. Mine would be to actually gain 20 to 40 pounds.
Gain 20 to 40 pounds.
Yeah, I want to gain weight. Just a little bit, not much. Just get to 20 to 40 pounds.
How about that?
Huh?
I'll just give you some of mine. I will put one onto you.
Unfortunately, to make it completely useless, it has to be in an areas that you weren't expecting it. Like it's just going to be at your ankles, or it's going to be right at your lower back.
No.
That's true.
In your head.
My head. Oh no, my head don't need to get no bigger. I'm sorry. No. I don't have a big head. No.
I just want to say thank you once again for all of you joining me on the podcast tonight and answering my questions.
Having us, man. We appreciate this opportunity for real.
Can I get you all to give out, if you want to give out some social media, if you have it, or obviously also the Kickstarter. Tell people where to find that.
Okay. Yes. Well, I'll start. I'll give you the business social medias because JSN Digital Productions is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You just look up JSN Digital Productions, and there we are. And from there, you will find my personal Facebook from the page. John Nicholson, 1 in a million altogether. It's long, I know. If you just type in JHA, you'll find me just fine. Twitter, I'm J Dynamic. That's my music Twitter. If you put in Young Pharaoh, J Dynamic, you'll find me on Instagram.
Leo?
Our Kickstarter, if you go to Kickstarter and projects, just look for Legendary Forces. You'll be able to find all our information there. We also do have jsndigitalproductions.com you can go to for more information and little previews and things that we may be coming up with in the future will be posted there as well. And of course, the JSN Digital Productions Facebook page. And then you can find all of us through there as well.
Ben?
Yeah, I am on Instagram at Benny and the Jets 0326 and and yeah, that's all I got. Yeah.
Ashley?
I am on Instagram and Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, it's Ashley Morgan Hutchison. Instagram is lethal_intelligence 87.
Well,
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, it's just William_Hutchison. Very simple. Facebook's a little more complicated. I'm William Allen Norris Hutchison on Facebook.
I am at Mitchipedia GEM on Twitter. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our network on our website, geekelitemedia.com. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Geek Elite Media for exclusive material only our patrons get. And if you listen to this as a podcast, whatever podcatcher you use, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is Hey Mitch on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to...
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.